Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Geico. Happy Geicoing. Switch to Geico for more ways to save. 54-degree night. Wind is down. Rain is gone. That's the best part. And we'll give you the lineup for the Houston Astros as Dusty Baker's changed it up. Jose Altuve and Michael Brantley, the same top two, but then Carlos Correa slides up to third. Yordan Alvarez still cleaning up, but backing him up is Yuli Gurriel. Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman tumbles down from third to seventh. Martin Maldonado does the catching, and Framber Valdez pitching and batting ninth. Look at what has happened to this Astros offense. In the regular season, they led MLB in team average and runs per game. The World Series, John, they have been shut down tonight. They take on Tucker Davidson, the lefty, 25 years old, from Amarillo, Texas.
Well, they don't know much about him. They're trying to look at those iPads and watch what little video they've seen. And this young man making his start in a World Series. Again, much like Lee, you don't know what you're going to get if you're Brian Snitker. You just hope you get a lot more outs than they got yesterday.
Their starter yesterday got one. Altuve takes a strike. And this crowd is charged up, as they have been all postseason. They've helped out as the Braves, John said it in the opening, have won all 7 games this postseason in 12 of their last 13 here at home. Great park, great atmosphere. 0-1 pitch inside. Tucker Davidson is pitching for the Braves for the first time since June 15th.
Yeah, he had a few starts that called up here and did fairly well in the first couple. He's going to have fastballs and sliders. Good tight break to his slider. He started off Altuve with 2 in a row.
1-1. Strike 2.
They only hit 118 on the limited use of the slider during this season.
Went on the IL with a forearm strain. 1-2 pitch upstairs. When we talked to Dusty Baker about his lineup and dealing with a pitcher they haven't seen, he said, like Henry Aaron used to tell me, and our team initiate a young guy right away. Jump on him. Normally Altuve is jumping on the pitcher. He's waiting on a 2-2. And he grounds it foul.
Well, the one thing about Tucker is he's going to pitch very emotionally, and that can be okay in a regular season game. It's not that you don't use your emotions in a postseason game. You got to make sure they don't get carried away one way or another. And not having any experience in this moment, can you imagine starting a game with a chance to give your team a good start to possibly winning a World Series?
2-2 pitch. Little pop up out behind short. Swanson. 1 away. For more on Tucker Davidson, down to Tom Verducci.
Yeah, Joe. Well, Tucker Davidson was like a lot of our viewers when this World Series started. He was watching Game 1 on television at his Gwinnett Hotel, and he saw that Charlie Morton broke his leg, added to this World Series roster. Now, this morning at 11:30 a.m., Braves manager Brian Snitker called Davidson and said, "You've got the ball tonight." His response, "Let's do it." As you mentioned, Joe, he's 25, more than 400 minor league innings. And we should point out as well, besides being an excellent high school pitcher in Amarillo, Texas, he was also a quarterback there who said he loves to be in charge in the big moments.
Well, the moments don't get any bigger than this as he fires a strike to Michael Brantley. With Correa next. You got the all-important leadoff man. Skips that in there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, the good news for Tucker is he's in his normal role, right? It's not like it's an out-of-body experience as far as coming in the 3rd inning. He's starting a game, and that's what he's used to doing. The difference is the emotion and adrenaline that comes with this game. And safe to say it's the most fans he's ever pitched in his life.
And definitely the loudest. Here's a 1-1. Strike 2. This kid has made 5 major league starts. None since the middle of June. Made 4 starts for the Braves early this year. And went on the IL. But here he is. He got Altuve. And he's up on the count on Brantley.
That first playoff start, the crowd was so loud at Fulton County that literally I had a hard time getting the ball down. It was so juiced. I had to learn with that adrenaline how to get the ball down into the area that I would want to throw the ball. That's how much the crowd can amp you up as a pitcher.
Well, previous pitch was high. This one was in the dirt, and it goes to a full count. 19th round pick in 2016, came up last year. Made 1 start. 91 games in the minor leagues. Record of 20 and 24 coming into this season. Three-two pitch. That is a 1-out walk. And the batter will be Correa, 1 on 1 out.
And those are what you have to avoid, because you got to 2 strikes early and then just couldn't make that next pitch to get contact or an out.
Our player resume is sponsored by Indeed. And we look at 2 big bats. Right now, the Astros have holes in their lineup where there shouldn't be holes. And the combo of Correa and Bregman have gone 3 for 28.
Yeah, and it's the first time you can say that really collectively in this last three games. It has been decided that moving this lineup in a National League style is the best thing that Dusty could have done today by changing this lineup around a little bit.
Correa went around, strike 1. First overall pick by the Astros in 2012. And such a central figure in all the success that the Astros have experienced. And this is his free agent year. Is this his last game, or can he help get this series to Houston? Strike 2.
So here's the key. He gets the 2 strikes again, and just being able to put that put-away pitch. The curveball is an issue with left-handers on Correa and his swing. So he got the 2 strikes really fast. Will he go to the curveball or save it for another time? I don't think he's saving anything, because he's going to go batter to batter as long as Snicker will let him go.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Back up the middle. That leads to the bag, and a double play as Swanson turns it. And young Tucker Davidson faces 3 in the first. No score in game 5. Jorge Soler will try to get it going for Atlanta, as he did back in game 1 against Framber Valdez. And here's the Braves lineup. Soler, then Freddie Freeman, then Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Eddie Rosario, and Adam Duvall, Travis d'Arnaud, Dansby Swanson, and Tucker Davidson. On that double play hit into by Correa, it goes 1-4-3. So Davidson got a little piece of it on its way up the middle, and it was Albies who turned it. And at the end of a half inning, Tucker Davidson faced only 3 hitters. And now Framber Valdez trying to bounce back from a rough game 1 start. Deals a strike.
Key for him is going to be throwing strikes with that pitch. Great sinker, a lot of ground balls when he's on, a tremendous curveball and good changeup. Look for him to throw more curveballs tonight to these Brave hitters. He got behind in Houston, and the Braves took advantage of it and hit a lot of strikes on those sinkers.
1 ball, 1 strike. It was a 2-0 pitch that Soler hit out in Houston in game 1 to get that game started. A game the Braves won. Pulled around on the infield. Outfield just about straight away. Soler grounds to third, and Bregman can't come up with it.
This one was a wicked hop. He had no chance. He had to try to get it right there. See, once he went in, he couldn't get it in the air, and he couldn't back up. That top spin, all he's trying to do is guess on that hop. Had tremendous spin on that ball, and you could see him trying to guide where that glove and hop is, keep his head down, but he couldn't do it. I got to believe that's a hit.
It is. Leadoff hit for Soler, now 5 for 13 in this World Series, and here's Freddie Freeman. In the air to center. Tucker is there for out number 1. Give you the umpires for this Game 5. Ted Barrett in charge of the balls and strikes. Alfonso Marquez is at first. Chris Conroy at second. Ron Kulpa over at third. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, in left, and Dan Bellino is in right. This game goes to, the series goes to a Game 6. Mike Malinsky would work the plate. He sits this one out as Ozzie Albies digs in. 1 on, 1 out. Left side, Correa to the second base bag, and no chance to turn 2. Maybe a little double clutch by Correa at the start, but with the speed of Albies, the Astros can get only the 1 out. 2 out in the inning, and Austin Riley will hit.
Well, early theme for the Braves is they're being aggressive early on the sinker, knowing that Framber's going to start throwing his sinker early. And good sign for Framber to get those ground balls. That's the key to his success, and certainly he can get out of this inning with very few pitches thrown.
With 2 out, Riley takes a ball. Braves have just the 1 stolen base that came right out of the gate in Gate 1. And it was Ozzie Albies who stole it. He's on at first with 2 out. 1-0 pitch to Austin Riley. Hard hit base hit. And Albies will turn and go to third and make it. And with that, Riley down to second.
That's the inexperience right there. We haven't had many plays where it's come into play where the outfielders not getting a lot of work and not in their right positions. You can't go to third here. You got to know who's running, and his throw to third allowed Riley, heads up base running, to follow and go into second. That throw has to be made to second.
With his necklace in his mouth, going first to third is Ozzie Albies. And good base running by Riley. And who's up? The crowd tells you Eddie Rosario, who's hitting .426 this postseason. What a chance for Atlanta to jump on top here in Game 5. Inside corner, poured in for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch on its way, and a ball and a strike.
There's such big break to that one. He'll throw a tighter one with the slider. I think that's the one that kind of gets to Rosario left on left a little bit more than curveballs. He seems to be able to follow the curveball and stay in there. But he's not comfortable, I don't think, until he gets to 2 strikes. Doing a lot of damage.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. First base is open. You got a guy at the plate now who's hitting .426 this postseason, and a guy on deck who's hitting .216. Most dangerous hitter in either lineup is standing at the plate with a chance to put the Braves on top. Valdez works it home inside, 3-1.
He's done a great job all postseason using his hands. He's an unorthodox type hitter where the body goes one way, it looks like, but he can serve it to left field. He's gap to gap, and he's got the power that he's displayed. When you make a mistake kind of down and in against the lefty, he can hook you down the line.
Danger pitch on 3-1. Rosario takes ball 4.
Well, we saw a little bit of this in the game that he pitched in Houston. Framber's a very excitable kind of guy. Even though he looks calm, he wanted that pitch and it bothered him. So another mound visit in the first inning by Maldonado. Really good pitch, but in the inside part of the plate. And early in Houston, he didn't get a couple pitches that I thought made him pull his sinker up into the zone, and the Braves took advantage of that.
Well, now this inning falls to Adam Duvall. Soler started this with a hit. Rosario just extended it with a walk in the third of the 4 July additions to the roster in season. Digs in Duvall.
Typically against Duvall, in off the plate is out, middle to away. He has his power stroke.
Homered off Valdez in game 1. Hits it in the air to right. Back at the wall. Grand slam. Duvall. 4-0 Atlanta.
Middle to away, Joe. He is a home run hitting machine, and another one to right field where this ball absolutely jumps and flies, and you can't ask for a better start for the Atlanta Braves.
Darno checks his swing. Another postseason grand slam, and this one for Adam Duvall, back around with the Atlanta Braves. Started the year in Miami, added to the roster in July. Wow. Correa. Inning is over. But 2 hits, a walk, and this. And this place literally shaking here in Georgia, and the first since 1960. And Bobby Richardson for the Yankees. Yankees beating Pittsburgh 10-0 in that game 3. As Yordan Alvarez deals with Davidson, and breaking ball is low, ball 1. So now you're Tucker Davidson, and you're back to the mound with a 4-run lead as you start the second against Alvarez, Gurriel, and Tucker.
Yeah, much better feeling, but Snicker is not going to allow this young man to get in any kind of trouble tonight.
Alvarez hits it in the air to left. Rosario back just onto the track, 1-0. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. By Ford, built for America. and by Steal a Base, Steal a Taco, only at Taco Bell.
Well, the amazing part about this first inning is that's the way the Astros all postseason were scoring runs. 2 outs, 2-out walks, doing all the little things that you have to do to make it tough on the other team, and that's what the Braves have taken advantage. That walk by Rosario led to the grand slam.
1-0 pitch. I thought it was an interesting comment by Brian Snitker, as Gurriel has a count of 1-1, when he said, when we called Tucker Davidson up last year, the first thing that stood out to him was his mound presence. You don't hear that very often, as that one is lined into center with 1 out, and Gurriel now up in the number 5 spot as a board here in the second inning. He certainly doesn't appear like he's in over his head here tonight.
No, there's a lot of different things. I don't think it's half the battle, knowing that you believe in your stuff and having the go get 'em attitude on the mound. It can work against you, but he'd rather have that than the guy who's giving you kind of false impressions that he's scared or doesn't have confidence or can't throw strikes. So these are the balance of things you learn. The more opportunities you get, the breathing's different. I mean, everything about this game, which is so awesome in the postseason, once players get it and understand it, they have a chance to be successful.
Braves hoping that Tucker Davidson figures that out fast. He's through an inning and a third, has a runner at first, and Tucker hits one down the left field line, foul, strike 1. For coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune to Fox Deportes, celebrating their 25th anniversary. Astros need something to feel good about here early after falling into that 4-run hole. Here's the 0-1.
Yeah, you typically, when you get punched real quick, that 4-run hurts, but it's in the first. So you just got to score in this inning to feel like, even if you just check in and score 1, you feel like, okay, we're going to scratch and crawl. But now the game gets shorter because Snicker's bullpen comes in the game earlier if they have the lead.
1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1. It's really kind of reminiscent of the Kansas City Royals when they went to back-to-back World Series, won it in 15, and Ned Yost, the way he managed, he had so many good arms in the bullpen. You just needed to cover the first 5 plus, and then the parade out of the pen starts. And when you've got guys down there like Minter and Matzik and Luke Jackson and Will Smith, what an advantage for Brian Snitker. Two and two the count. Kyle Tucker. Full count.
Yeah, those scenarios work when you win a series quickly, and the Kansas City Royals were able to do that, basically almost sweeping all of those series to get into the World Series. And the Braves have been able to do that. When you exhaust all your options and you lose a game, then you go, uh-oh. And that's kind of what happened to Houston yesterday. Being down 2-1, they used a lot of their weapons in a 1-run game or ahead by 1, and they ended up losing.
3-2 pitch is inside. 2 on 1 out. And the guy who has struggled and who has tumbled down the lineup has a golden opportunity right here. Alex Bregman.
Well, he's working on something today, and he worked on it in batting practice, trying to keep his front shoulder in, meaning he's going to try to keep a 2-hand approach on his swing He was working on it in batting practice. It's one thing to do that. If you can do it in the game, he's trying to make an adjustment here in the World Series because he's been out of sync and his mechanics have been off.
First time he has hit 7th or lower since 2017. Ball 1. And so Dusty Baker moved the pieces around, and he put Carlos Correa in Bregman's spot, which is third, and Correa bounced into a double play in the first inning.
Well, he's one of the best when he's right at commanding the middle part of the plate. It's his. Away, he'll give it to the pitcher. But when your front shoulder's not staying in, you're pulling off, you lose what you're good at, and that's the middle part of the plate to inside.
2-0. And that draws Travis d'Arnaud out from behind home plate to talk to Davidson. We keep talking about the dominance here at home. They're 7-0 this postseason. Their starter ERA, even though they're not getting a ton of innings, is 2.70. The bullpen is just lights out. The strikeouts and the opposition batting with runners in scoring position, from the Brewers to the Dodgers, now the Astros, 6 for 53. But Bregman has the count in his favor, 2-0. And he could electrify his dugout with something big here.
Well, something you normally don't see. We showed you what the bullpen ERA and starters ERA. You don't typically see the bullpen leading in innings pitched in a postseason, and that's what they're doing for the Atlanta Braves. And a big part of that, of course, now is Charlie Morton's departure, and that injury really hurt.
2-1 pitch, fouled back. We've got Bregman up, Maldonado on deck, then the pitcher's spot. We just saw in the bullpen Yimi Garcia already getting loose for Houston. The entire complexion of how Dusty Baker will have to manage this game, now down 4-0, facing elimination, has changed. Here's a 2-2. And that's into right center field. This ball is going to get down and go all the way to the wall. 1 run scores Gurriel. They're going to hold Tucker at third, and the Astros are on the board, and it's Bregman who delivers an RBI double.
Well, this is what he was working on, and look how connected he is to this swing, and he goes gap to gap. He stays right there, and then 2 hands on the bat, and then the release at the end. Gap power, and a huge hit, not only for him and his confidence, but for the Astros checking in with putting a point on the board.
Big hit by Bregman. Now second and third, 1 out for Martin Maldonado. 4-1 ball game. A strike. Maldonado, 1 RBI in this World Series, 2 all postseason. 4 for 41 in the postseason. But boy, could he deliver a big hit here.
All he needs is a ground ball anywhere, and the run scores.
Infield is back.
And these are the situations, I know, with the pitcher on deck, the 8th hitter has an impossible task of trying to figure out how he's going to be pitched to, because there's a base open. But the tendency is to keep getting hits and scoring runs. But here you've got to get a run in, because you know the guy behind you has not and will not handle the bat, more than likely, in the American League. Hasn't done much of that.
1-1 pitch. That's strike 2. Valdez just sitting on the ledge near the on-deck circle. And you saw Marwin Gonzalez with a helmet on his head and a bat in his hands.
the style of hitting doesn't have any variation. There's going to be no choking up by Maldonado, no moving up in the box, none of that because of the style that he's used to swinging. So nothing's going to change with 2 strikes. If it could, this would be the time to do it, to make some kind of contact to get the second run.
Ball 2. The Astros were 0 for their last 12 with runners in scoring position prior to that RBI double by Bregman. Two. Maldonado hits it in the air to center. Both runners will tag. Tucker will score. Bregman ends up at third, and it's a 4-2 game on a sac fly by Maldonado.
Remember that at bat if the Astros come back and win in a close game, because that at bat didn't happen yesterday. In many cases, they could have broken the game open yesterday, and they didn't. So they checked in with at least 2 runs here, and that's a big confidence for a team that just gave up 4.
Yeah, the Astros had 10 base runners over the first 3 innings yesterday and got only the 1 run. They get a 1-out hit by Gurriel, a walk to Kyle Tucker, and an RBI double by Bregman, followed by the sac fly. Now Framber Valdez. Strike 1. The Astros have just 1 2-out run in this World Series. The Braves have 8. They just got 4 a moment ago on 1 swing by Adam Duvall.
I'd be bunting if I was Framber. Doesn't look like he can handle the bat. He could surprise everybody by laying down a bunt and seeing if he could beat it out.
Hitless during the year, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts.
The flip side of it is sometimes the pitcher knows all I got to do is throw strikes to this guy, because the fear of him getting a hit is a lot less than you're facing, obviously, a position player. Unless it's Greinke or Max Fried.
Here's a 1-1. Strike 2. The idea of the bunt is even less likely now with 2 strikes, but man, this Braves infield's been deep since the moment Valdez walked up there. 1-2. 2-2. We asked Dusty Baker about Valdez and his ability to bunt. He said, well, he tries. Which is, I think, his nice way of saying he's not really all that good at it. Here's a 2-2 pitch now. Got him on the inside corner, and the inning is over. But after giving up the grand slam, the Astros come right back with 2 of their own. 4-2 after 1.5 in Game 5. Well, that had to feel good for Alex Bregman. All the work, the struggles over the first 4 games of this World Series, and a key part of that 2-run rally last half inning.
Yeah, you know that could unlock a player when you've been searching for some success.
Breaking ball in for a strike to Dansby Swanson, who hit a game-tying home run the opposite way last night in the 7th. Strike 2.
I think Framber starts mixing in his curveball a little bit earlier than he would like to, and the formula works when you get a lot of outs early with sinkers, but he needs to mix it up a little bit because the Braves are a really good fastball hitting team, and he looked like he was going to get out of that first inning with 7 pitches, and it turned into a lot more.
Here's the 0-2. It's Swanson now, then Tucker Davidson the pitcher, then Soler. Dansby Swanson choked up on the bat just a little bit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Valdez. That's foul. Third time in World Series history that a team has hit back-to-back home runs to tie and go ahead in a World Series game. Ruth and Gehrig in 28. In Game 4, Pedro Guerrero and Steve Yeager in 81 for the Dodgers. Game 5. Dusty was there for that. And then Swanson and Soler last night. 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. Correa has to throw as he spins. What a play.
And that's a cannon right there. I mean, that play looked like as it was developing was going to be a base hit. And once he got the ball, he turned and threw a bullet. Shifted, and he goes and makes the play. Watch this throw right here, right on the mark. Gurriel helps with the stretch.
What a great play by Carlos Correa. 1 out, and Davidson, the pitcher, hits. 0 for 6 in his career with 6 strikeouts at the plate. Strike 1.
Say 6 strikeouts.
0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts. Go ahead, say it.
Well, I mean, I just don't know why he wouldn't try to bunt. Do something, you know.
He is 0 for 7 with 7 strikeouts. 2 out.
So you're saying he's got a chance.
That's what I thought you were going to say. Just came a little late.
It did.
Here you go. The guy digging in, Soler, is the one that hit the ball into left after Swanson hit the ball into right. And the home run by Soler put the Braves up for good. Those two guys combined to flip the game on its head. Valdez brings it. Soler can hit him a long way as he takes a strike. We talked to Brian Snitker about Soler. He said when we got him, first of all, when he walked in my office, he said I'd seen him plenty of times from a distance. I didn't realize how big he was. He is a big man. And secondly, they talked to a lot of the Royals staff. They picked him up from Kansas City, and those guys said he's in a good spot right now. He's better than his 192 average would indicate, and he went from a guy they thought was just going to face left-handed pitching to a guy that played more regularly.
Yeah, he definitely got his power stroke when he got over here, and never could have thought he would lead off, but based on the way they put him in the game, they decided to lead him off. Even Brian said, I know it's not that's not what you're supposed to do, but it worked.
Sure worked in Game 1 when he led off with a home run. He hit 48 home runs 2 years ago. Breaks his bat. Grounds to Correa. Shows off the arm again, and a nice inning of work by Framber Valdez. Calms down, has a 1-2-3 frame. Top of the order. Will bat for Houston. That means Altuve as they trail by 2. Fireworks in the first inning on the grand slam by Adam Duvall, and then the Astros came back with 2 in the second. Now bat in the third with Altuve leading it off. Ball 1 upstairs as Davidson has made it into the third inning. He has a right-hander, Jesse Chavez, getting ready behind him for the Braves out in their pen. Here's a 1-0. Down 2-0.
Hard to do that, right? Get to 2-0 on Altuve.
He didn't swing at the first pitch in the first and didn't do it here in the third. Two-0 pitch. Looks like he's up there to take a strike. 2-1.
Well, you know, we talked to Dusty, and you know, many teams will get down 3-1 and they'll say our backs are against the wall, we got nothing to lose, which I always hated that statement. Or we'll win when we have to. He just said his guys aren't fazed by it. they've been in these situations and they believe they're going to come back like they did last year against the Rays.
Good pitch there, 2-2.
I mean, they were down 3 games to none and forced a game 7. So he just said there's something about his club and that they don't get down, and they really truly do believe in everybody in there, and they're going to have to do that to battle to win tonight.
Just a 2-run game. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Altuve in his postseason career is a .341 hitter with 4 of his 23 home runs in the postseason when his team is facing elimination. And he's run the count full here, 3-2. I mean, he's the guy that gets this lineup going, and when Dusty Baker says they're not phased, I'm sure he's got Jose Altuve right in the front of his mind when he says it.
Well, right now they know everything's coming into them. They haven't seen anything go away against the right-hander.
Left side. Swanson kicks it. That'll be an error. And his second error of this World Series, and the leadoff man is on.
Well, the speed of Altuve will always make every infielder speed up, and Swanson makes these plays all the time. You see how that ball was bouncing with spin? I really think that spin got to his heel and he wasn't able to make the transfer. But you know when he hits it, you got to get ready and go because he can get down the line.
And just like that, the tying run steps in. Michael Brantley. No home runs this postseason, 9 RBIs. Takes the ball. This might be it for Davidson with a right-handed hitting Correa up next. Altuve, when he gets on, usually scores. Scored 19 of the times he's reached base, and that's 22 times this postseason. That percentage is off the charts. That's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, that's the definition of a really deep lineup. And the guys behind Altuve normally are clicking when the pitcher has the pressure of facing a great lineup with runners on base. Not a good combination.
Here's a 1-1 to Brantley in the dirt again.
You know, when you see a number like every time I look at it, and I got to double check it. And Michael Brantley, you know, coming into this postseason, holding this 7% of his swings in the strike zone. So that's very disciplined and very connected to mechanically. And he doesn't swing at many pitches out of the zone. So good luck trying to get a lot of swing and misses in the zone when you're facing this guy.
Will Smith got Brantley looking to start the 9th inning last night. Dealing with another left-hander. 2 balls and a strike. Ball. That is down for ball 3. 3-1. An error started the inning. Brantley with the count in his favor. Now it's 2 on with nobody out. Correa coming up, and we'll see if the change comes now. And it looks like that's all the Atlanta Braves will get out of Tucker Davidson. And that's the case. He gets into the 3rd. The error behind him to start the inning hurt his chances. He gives up the baseball. Carlos Correa coming up Jesse Chavez coming in. Well, a key spot here in this ball game. 4-2 the score. Top of the third, nobody out. And the number 3 hitter Carlos Correa dealing with Jesse Chavez. Been really good when he's had a chance this postseason. Hits the outside corner. Correa didn't agree.
He's going to have to be good with his secondary pitches. This swing plane is really set up for a sinking ball, a sinking fastball, and that's what Chavez throws. So he's going to have to paint the corners to try to get a ground ball, which he desperately wants right now, and possibly turn 2.
Correa bounced into a double play his first time. 2 on, nobody out, and that's outside as Chavez tried to go right back there. He's pitched 3 2/3 scoreless innings and 5 relief appearances this postseason, and a perfect inning in his lone start. It came against the Dodgers as an opener. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Two and 1.
You can see that's what he's trying to do, is trying to get the ball cut in action off the plate and see if he can get Correa to pull the ball into that shift that the Atlanta Braves have.
Chavez behind in the count. Here comes the 2-1. 2-2. So Bregman slides down in the order. He's been struggling. Correa moves up, but he's been struggling. 2 out of 15 in this World Series. Full count with Yordan Alvarez on deck.
The Astros aren't going to give you anything if you're facing the pitcher. They're going to make you work and make you throw great pitches. I've already seen this series just a ton of 3-2 counts.
Correa hits it into left center field. That ball will get down. 1 run will score. That's Altuve. Going to third is Brantley. And this is a 1-run game. RBI double for Carlos Correa. And the Astros are bouncing right back.
Well, his swing plane, like I said, just loves the sinking fastball over the 4-seam. You can beat him with velocity up, but he's able to level this ball right up the gap there in center and took advantage of the 3-2 count. And now they're threatening to take the lead.
So Bregman delivers in the 7th spot with an RBI double last inning, and Correa delivers an RBI double here in the 3rd. Hitting third. Here's Alvarez. That's a little fly ball. Rosario, a long run. He is there to make the catch. 1 away. And a big out for Chavez to get Alvarez.
That's a huge out. I mean, you're talking about a guy that was impossible to get out. And now if they want, they could walk Gurriel to get to Tucker, but I don't think that's what they're going to do with Chavez on the mound.
Alvarez, who makes the out there, hit .522 in the ALCS, was the MVP. 5 extra base hits, 6 RBIs. He's now 1 for 13 in this World Series. So here's another guy moved around in the order from 7th to 5th. Yuli Gurriel, and he grounds one up the middle. A run scores. It's a tie game. The out at first, and it's 4-4 here in the 3rd.
See, and that's what I was talking about when Maldonado was up. So many guys want to be the hero and drive in runs and get hits that they work themselves into strikeouts, pop-ups, over-aggression. He knows, he's the professional hitter, that if he hits a ground ball, the game is tied, and he'll pass the baton on to his next guy to see if they can take the lead.
And that next guy is Kyle Tucker. All 4 runs that have scored charged to the starter Davidson. First pitch. Strike 1 on Tucker.
I know homers are king, and it's the fastest way to score a run. But I have a hard time believing that if you make contact, you're not going to put pressure on teams. We saw an error. We saw contact score runs. I've never seen a strikeout score a run.
Here's an 0-1. Kyle Tucker, from the 1st of May to the end of the year, led the American League with a .320 average. He's driven in 15 runs this postseason, hitting .291. Walked and scored his first time. And up on the count here, 2-1.
See, Chavez is trying to make perfect pitches because that's how he gets you out. He's not going to outstuff you or live in the strike zone. He's going to rely on his defense. There won't be a ton of strikeouts. He knows how to pitch, and he's trying to make those kind of corner pitches on the inside corner, outside corner. Keep it off the barrel.
2-1 pitch is down with Bregman on deck. The Astros in this World Series 1 for 14 with 2 out and at least 1 runner in scoring position. Tucker trying to change that, and if he does, the Astros will have their first lead of Game 5. 3-1 pitch. Puts runners at the corners. Second walk of the inning. And it's up to Bregman. RBI double for Bregman back in the 2nd. 4-run Braves lead has been erased, and a chance for Houston with runners at the corners, 2 out.
And this is another guy that Bregman would love hitting off of, the sinker versus the 4-seam fastball. His swing plane again adds to the strength and takes away from Chavez.
Ball 1 up and away.
So Chavez is going to try and cut the ball and spin it away.
Bregman can give Houston the lead. A check on the runner Tucker, who has stolen 5 bases this postseason. Two off Darno in this World Series. A 1-0. Check to swing, 2-0. Astros have been more selective tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're trying to put on their hyper focus goggles, right? I mean, they don't have any room for error, and it started off with a 4-0 punch right in the gut, but it shows you what they're made of to come back offensively.
That's off the end of the bat. Should end the inning as Rosario comes to get it. The Braves got 4 runs in the first. The Astros 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Game 5 is tied on Halloween after 2.5. Couldn't have been a better start for the Braves with a grand slam in the first inning, but the Astros with 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and we're back where we started with the Braves batting. Tie ball game.
Yeah, advantage Astros unless the Braves can take back the advantage and flex their muscles offensively. That's quite the comeback after you're facing an elimination game and you're down 4-0 after 1.
And Framber Valdez, who gave up the grand slam, has a clean slate and misses inside to Freddie Freeman. As could be the last time these fans that are packed into Truist Park see Freddie Freeman in a Braves uniform here at home. Free agent to be. Would be hard to imagine him in another uniform. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's been here through the bad years, and he has been front and center in the good years, and the reigning National League MVP. Framber Valdez trying to continue to settle into this Game 5 start. Strike 2.
Yeah, he ran out to the mound with a little more jump or pep in his step, knowing that he's now back in a tie game. It says a lot about him. I'm sure his emotions were racing when he had given up that grand slam.
Here's a 1-2 now. Freeman takes ball 2. Freeman, then Albies, then Riley, 2, 3, and 4 hitters. In the dirt, full count.
Well, another 3-2 count. I'm sure there's going to be a few of them in this game. Who wins the battle of 3-2?
Three-two pitch is hit high and long gone by Freddie Freeman. 5-4 Atlanta.
I'd say he won the battle of the 3-2 right there.
That ball was just mashed. Albies hits it foul. The buzz is back. Ball 1-1 on Albies. Strike 2.
Seen a lot of those changeups. That changeup is filthy, and it works off of his sinker, but has about 7 miles an hour difference. And you saw that Albies already committed, could lay off of it.
Tough play. Bregman, bare hand, got him. Good play by Alex Bregman. 1 out. Back to the home run by Freeman.
Well, just a sinker right there for a strike, and that one is the Freddie swing that everybody here has been used to for a long time. He knew it. Framber knew it.
That was the longest home run that Freeman has hit all season. 460. Ties for the longest he's ever hit during the StatCast era. As that pitch misses low to Austin Riley, ball 1. One ball, 1 strike.
Well, the Braves offense knows they don't have their guy in there, meaning a starter that can give them lockdown situations. So the offense is going to be in charge of winning this game tonight, at least to the 6th inning, before Brian Snitker's turn over to high leverage guys.
1-2 on Riley. True bounce for Correa. 2 out. T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage, wants to send you on the baseball road trip of a lifetime. Win tickets to all 30 MLB ballparks and an RV to get you there. Just text road trip to 595959. Eddie Rosario last night after the game was reminiscing about the catch he made in the 8th inning back on the track to get an out on a ball that was scorched by Altuve. And he described himself as Super Rosario. And he has been super as he takes a strike. Walked and scored back in the 1st.
Yeah, that was an amazing play that just an inning or so earlier his counterpart couldn't make it because it went over the wall.
But just out of his reach. Yeah. I mean, he had a shot at it.
He did. What makes left field so unique is it's got a shorter fence than the rest of the ballpark. So a little more challenging when you're running full speed over there.
Rosario said, I took my eyes off it. I threw my glove up and made the catch. There it is.
And that's exactly what happened. I mean, he gets to this point, and then right when he took his eye off, he threw his glove up and he got right in the glove. I mean, who knows what could have happened? That ball could have bounced away. It could have been a triple.
That skips in from Valdez. It was a big play in a 1-run game that turned into a 1-run win. 2-2 now on Eddie Rosario. Picked up from Cleveland. One of the best in-season deals in a long time by any team. 2-2 pitch. Full count.
Yeah, he was picked up while he was hurt. So it wasn't like he came over here and could get in right away. He had to heal up, and then it gave the Braves a little more insurance in their offense. And you think about what's happened even tonight. I mean, a pickup grand slam out of Duvall. Soler. I mean, it's been a massive contribution at different times. Even Jock Peterson.
They talk about general managers in all sports. When they say who won the offseason, Alex Anthopoulos won the in-season with what he did in July. 3-2. Inside, a 2-out walk. Here are the 4 guys they got for the outfield. And as John said, Rosario was hurt. It took about a month for him to get into a game. But this postseason, they're not complimentary pieces.
Yeah, they're vital.
They're vital. 11 home runs by that group. And with Duvall coming up, Dusty Baker has seen enough. Framber Valdez is gone after 2 2/3. This by Freddie Freeman, the longest of the postseason by any player. Oh, and it's given the Atlanta Braves a 5-4 lead here in Game 5. Well, I dare you to find any more activity anywhere in the United States right now than right here in Marietta, Georgia's Framber Valdez. Game 1, he lasted a couple, got into the 3rd. Tonight, 2 2/3. As they continue to miss the presence and the ability of Lance McCullers Jr. with the Astros, as Yimi Garcia is into the game. 2 out, a runner at first, Rosario, and Adam Duvall, who hit a grand slam his first time up. Watching a throw over to first.
He's kind of the go-to guy for Dusty to get him out of trouble or get him out of an inning and see what he can give him. He's got pretty good stuff. I know you saw the high ERA, but he slings it. Fastball, slider. He creates a different angle now for obviously Duvall.
It's upstairs. Valdez trying to get through this third inning, which would have been nice for Dusty Baker, as the pitcher spot is due up second in the fourth. So it's Yimi Garcia now, and they're going to have to dip back into their bullpen here shortly. A 1-0 pitch. A high strike, a ball and a strike.
You know, if you could perfect that pitch, it would never be hit. I mean, it's just impossible to be hit. I mean, you're not trained to hit a ball that's thrown from that angle, almost at the top of the zone. As a hitter, you want that ball in the middle of the plate, and then it is. Your eyes light up.
Garcia brings it and pounds it past the bat of Duvall. Strike two.
And that's where you got to get him. You've got to tie him up. He wants to get extended. That's where his power is, out over the plate. He can go to any part of the park with power. But if you crowd him in there, that's tougher for him in his style, the way he likes to hit. Danger of going in there is you invite the mistake that leaks over the plate, and that's what hitters are feasting on. That's why the strikeouts are the way they are and the homers are the way they are. Everyone's looking to do one thing, and if you make that mistake, it's right into the barrel of a home run swing.
Braves have regained the lead on the home run by Freeman. 1-2 pitch here is fouled back. Both starters are gone. Runner at first, 2 out. 1-2 pitch is down.
The Astros have done a better job as a team in not chasing tonight. The Braves have done a little bit better job because they can be struck out a lot if you make quality pitches, and some of the secondary pitches tonight against them have not been close enough. It's always a challenge on which team will be the most disciplined and not chasing as much.
2-2 pitch here and another foul. Well, we highlighted all the additions in the outfield for Atlanta. James Click, the GM for Houston, went after reconstructing his bullpen, and Yimi Garcia is a part of that. Acquired on July 28th from Miami. They added Phil Maton from Cleveland and Kendall Graveman from Seattle. 3 right-handers for their pen, and they've been busy all October. Here's a 2-2. Full count.
There's that count. I'm going to count how many times he gets to a 3-2 count. Think I can stay locked in? No chance.
No chance.
No, I'm going to need some help.
Rosario at first will take off. Here comes a 3-2 and another foul. Good at bat by Duvall. They knew what they were getting with Duvall. He really put together a huge year. He's now hit 41 home runs, 38 plus 3, 2 in this World Series as they got him back. Two guys that started the season in Miami going head-to-head, and a foul back again.
See, he tied him up in there, and it's very difficult 3-2 to do that. But the time to do it is when he went in there and got a swing and miss, and then never made another pitch close to that area. And 3-2, he decided to go back in there, and Duvall fouled it off. Put away pitches at this time of the year are so important, but we've had so many young pitchers in this game that don't have a lot of experience trying to do that.
Another foul ball. Already a 10-pitch at bat.
Feel like this baits the pitcher in Maldonado to throw a slider here on 3-2. He makes a good one away. It's a swing and a miss. If he doesn't, it's a loud noise. Do they go to it or stay with the fastball?
It's the longest at bat that Adam Duvall has had by way of pitches all year. 11. It'll be at least 12.
Well, based on those last couple pitches, he's in swing mode because that was a ball. So that tells you something when you're a pitcher and your pitch selection.
Runner goes again, and a fly ball on the infield for Correa, as Duvall just got under it and ends the third that started with a loud noise. And it's Freddie Freeman, 460 feet. He's made it 5-4 Atlanta. Get your game on at MLBshop.com. Authentic on-field caps, tees, hoodies, and more. Get all your World Series Astros and Braves gear and wear what the champs wear at the official source, MLBshop.com. As Maldonado takes a strike from Jesse Chavez. Maldonado with Zach Greinke on deck. Hits one up the middle and to his left. Albies has it, throws it, and Freeman has to dig it out on a routine throw. Albies bounces another one over there, 1 out.
I'll tell you what, Albies has not been throwing good, and I don't know if it's just thinking he's got a lot of time so he's throwing it easier, but last couple throws have been pretty close, including late last night. And Freddie comes up with a big scoop. I mean, he throws like that all the time. It's just he usually has a little more oomph on it.
Zach Greinke will hit. Why don't we check in with Kenny Rosenthal? Ken?
Well, Joe, Zach Greinke is quite proud of his hitting. He once asked me if his offensive wins above replacement would affect his Hall of Fame candidacy. And Carlos Correa was talking about that yesterday. He said, you know, Greinke thinks he's Babe Ruth or Hank Aaron. He acts like he's a 1,000 OPS guy when actually it's more like 600.
Well, he does have 9 home runs. He does have a World Series hit in this series, 1 for 2 last night. And he pitched great. I mean, 4 innings, at least what goes down as great when starting pitching, and good starting pitching has been so scarce as he lines one into right, a base hit. He's 2 for 3 in this World Series swinging the bat. And he's on with 1 out here in the 4th.
He's going to tell Mr. Correa, his teammate, he can rake. That's about as good as it gets right now. When you're talking about a fastball away, he goes with it.
And the bench loves it. And he doesn't need a jacket. He's not going to come in and pitch. How about that? Altuve now takes a ball outside. Tying run is on the person of Zach Greinke.
Well, you know, Brian Snitker would love somehow to get through this inning and then start turning it over to the more prototypical guys he's used in this series. out of the pen.
He does have Minter up in the bullpen. Altuve can't believe that's a strike, and instead of a 2-0 count, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. One on, one out, 1-run game here in the 4th. Fouled back, strike 2.
Well, that's the strike call that Altuve didn't like. You can't say it really affected him, but he did swing at one a little bit higher. He's a bad ball hitter. He doesn't really have to hit in the strike zone. A lot of his hits will be outside the strike zone.
Here's a 1-2 and a pop up into right. Soler there for Atlanta. 2 out. And here comes Brian Snitker with Michael Brantley coming up. He's going to go to Minter. So these late inning arms are getting earlier and earlier and earlier into the ball game. 1-run affair, just the 4th inning. What's been an exciting Game 5 in Atlanta. Well, here is A.J. Minter with Michael Brantley at the plate. Greinke on at first, 2 out. 5-4 Atlanta. Strike 1. Greinke pinch hit for Yimi Garcia. So the Astros are going to have to go back to their bullpen, and it looks like Jose Urquidy, who started Game 2 and was the winner back in Houston, will come in.
Yeah, he would have probably been Game 6, but they don't concern themselves with a Game 6 right now. They have to win this game.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. In for a strike from Minter.
This cutter has become huge. And when Minter was struggling, he was struggling to throw strikes. Got sent out like you talked about. He's been a total different pitcher since coming back. Really, the bullpen has been a total different bullpen since they really have started flourishing the last month and a half.
Here's an 0-2 to Brantley. Struck him out on 3 pitches. That bullpen just keeps rolling, especially those big lefties out there. And the Braves lead by 1 after 3.5. 5-4 game, and it's up to Jose Urquidy to keep it right there.
Reports of up to 130,000 people in this complex.
It's just remarkable what this organization has done with this stadium and the surrounding businesses, the battery they call it, which we've shown you many times. As Jose Urquidy deals high to Travis d'Arnaud with Dansby Swanson in the pitcher's spot. 7, 8, 9 hitters against Urquidy, who won Game 2, pitching with 3 days rest, and he fools d'Arnaud 1-1. Had plenty of rest going into that Game 2 start. Barely used in October. He pops the glove there with strike 2 on d'Arnaud.
Well, Dusty Baker's so much wants to get a couple innings just to bridge the gap to some of his higher leverage guys that he had to burn.
Ground ball up the middle, of base hit. Once it got past Urquidy, no one was there for Houston, and easily into center field for a leadoff base hit. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Geico. Happy Geicoing. Switch to Geico for more ways to save. The Atlanta Braves And your group, John, 1995 World Series champions. Here's your buddy Greg, who threw out the first pitch tonight.
Yeah, Andrew Jones. I'm sure Chipper. Yeah.
He's been here every night. Hall of Famer. Greg Maddux, Hall of Famer. Swanson hits it in the air to center. Tucker back a few. One out, and A.J. Minter will hit here in the fourth inning. The Atlanta Braves were in Boston 1871 to 52, the Boston Braves, then Milwaukee 53 to 65. They've been in Atlanta, the Braves have, since 66. Won 6 pennants as the Atlanta Braves, in that one World Championship you guys won in Game 6 over the Cleveland Indians. Tom Glavine 8 shutout innings, and David Justice the solo shot in the 6th inning to win it. Minter to bunt, he pops it up, and an easy out number 2.
Well, time flies. It's been a long time, and these fans are showing out with the highest energy. I would say it's higher than even in 1991, when first kind of shocked everybody from going last to first. This season kind of similar for these fans, where the team expectation was so high, then the injuries, they lose their best player, all well documented. And their probability of winning was, in August, not great. And here they are in the World Series, 1 game away from winning the World Series.
Here's Jorge Soler with 1 on 2 out, 5-4 game. You look at the World Series odds this season, and on opening day they were picked by many just 10 to 1. But then the odds, with all that they went through, as Soler takes a strike. They lost Soroka again, the Achilles issue. They lost Ronald Acuna Jr. on the 10th of July. Marcell Ozuna placed on administrative leave by MLB after a May arrest for domestic violence charges. And then they remade their outfield in July, and it took really until August for them to really hit their stride, and they haven't stopped since. And it doesn't, they've lost Charlie Morton in this World Series, and they just don't miss a beat.
No, it's both teams on an impressive run to get here. Of course, the Braves had to beat the defending champs, Dodgers.
That's outside. 2-1 on Soler.
And they weren't favored in any series. They weren't favored against the Brewers, the Dodgers, and now the Astros.
Leading 3 games to 1, and leading Game 5 5-4. That's down with Freddie Freeman on deck. The count's 3-1.
You know, Soler, for being such a free swinger in this postseason, has really been more selective than his numbers show, which tells you he's been locked in. Of course, he had to miss time because of COVID in the middle of this postseason.
Full count. Yeah, he was out after the division series started against Milwaukee and missed the early part of the series against the Dodgers. But boy, has he come back with 5 hits and 14 at bats in the World Series now, and 2 of those hits home runs. Runner at first. Darno will go. That is a rocket. It is foul.
What do you think this next pitch is going to be? I will be shocked if it's a fastball. I mean, he knew right when he hit it that was a missile, but hooking.
Former Chicago Cub, Kansas City Royal. Waits for another 3-2.
There was a changeup. Had to be something to get him off the fastball, and he fouled it.
Urquidy, his first relief appearance of this year, regular or post. His last one, Game 7 of the 2020 ALCS last year against Tampa Bay. Allowed a run on 2 innings in a 4-2 loss. Here's a ground ball. And stepping on the bag is Altuve to end the 4th. Braves lead it 5-4, lead the World Series 3-1. Back after this from your local Fox station. Predict which players will collect the most total bases during any World Series game and compete to win $20,000. Play MLB Base Chase, presented by Michelob Ultra at MLB.com/stolenbase. See official rules for details. Carlos Correa first up. Minter finished off the top of the 4th with a strikeout of Brantley. Correa comes up empty, strike 1. Minter was shipped back to AAA in July and had to work on some things. He's come back, and to say he's in a groove is a serious understatement. The 0-1 to Correa. Strike 2.
Well, in Game 1, of course, when Charlie had to leave, I mean, he threw, and you could tell he was gassed. He threw everything he could that game to help preserve the victory. And it was going to be a costly victory, but it was a big one.
The 0-2. Correa fights it off. The night shift, as we heard Tyler Matzik say the other night. Here's what they've done this postseason. That bottom line, it all leads to Will Smith, and he's been 6 for 6 in save chances when it's mattered the most. 0-2 again. That's in the air to left center field. Will get down for a leadoff base hit. And the tying run is on again as Correa is on base for the 2nd time.
Astros want to create as much pressure as they can on any pitcher that's in the game right now, and lead off an inning in a postseason is the best way to do it, short of hitting a homer.
Hard to believe after the kind of ALCS that Yordan Alvarez had. You'd be saying that their big cleanup hitter struggling. 1 for 13. No RBIs. Is this his moment? He takes low, ball 1. Dusty Baker moved some of these pieces in his lineup. He said they haven't been pitching at all to Gurriel, and they haven't been giving Yordan Alvarez much to hit.
Right, and that's part of it. And coming into this game, that's why their swing percentage and chase percentage was way up. Trying to make something happen. Tonight, way down, not chasing as much.
As far as Alvarez is concerned, after slamming into the wall in left field last night, he's sore, hit his knee in the wall, but nothing more than soreness. Initially, Dusty Baker was worried about his shoulder, but he came out of that collision with the wall okay.
Yeah, I was worried about the wall.
Yeah, no word on how the wall's doing. Here's a 1-1. Good pitch again by Minter, strike 2.
When Minter first got to the Braves, it was a lot of this, fastballs and this. He developed a changeup, used it, but right now he's connected with that release point on that pitch. I'm sure he feels like he can make that pitch anytime he wants when you're going the way he's been going.
Bullpens are quiet. 1-2 pitch. A little more hittable from Minter, but Alvarez fouls it away. 24-year-old Cuban who has been so impressive. Looking for something to crunch. Astros fell behind 4-0, tied it in the third. Freddie Freeman and his home run put Atlanta back on top. Astros have never led tonight. That's strike 3. 1 out.
That's one of those mistake strikeouts, meaning he's trying to go down and away, and he started it inside the plate. See where the glove is? Watch where he throws it, and it freezes him. And caught the corner, caught the inside part of the plate, even though he didn't hit his intended target. That guy thought so.
Michael Myers says you're out. Here's Gurriel.
I'm still surprised that the Braves are putting on the shift to Gurriel.
He found a hole through that right side in game 2.
It's just not a great recipe. I know what they've gotten more aggressive in the second half and shifting, but we already told you that Gurriel will beat a shift whenever he wants.
It's like they're trying to pound him inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And that makes sense on how, you know, a hitter's going to know how you're trying to pitch him, unless he's just a one-way hitter and he doesn't care where the pitch is. He's trying to pull it. But his ability to inside out and hit that ball that way, well within his arsenal.
Here's a 1-1. I think he was trying to go to right. That's strike 2.
When the term give up of yourself used to be a term a long time ago where you would give up trying to do one thing and go to where the opposite of where they're wanting to hit you, because the power stroke.
That is into center. Correa will stop at second. 2 hits in the inning as Gurriel finds a hole to the left of the second base bag. And now he's got 2 hits and an RBI as he's moved up to the number 5 spot. And the very talented young Kyle Tucker walks to the plate.
Cutting action, but he stays up the middle. That's the difference. You try to pull that, and then it's probably, see how flat that swing is. I mean, that's just so perfect. That's why it's tough to shift a guy that does that.
So 2 singles with a strikeout in between, and here's Kyle Tucker.
He will swing at the first pitch, as we have told you over and over again. Watch his feet. His feet are always moving. He's hitting with his feet.
And a good pitch from Minter takes advantage of that. Strike 1.
Reminds me a little bit, not obviously in the same style of Sean Casey, but Sean Casey used to pick up his feet and back leg and just hitters that hit like they're tap dancing.
Two on, 1 out. Little chopper to first. Freeman only 1 play to the bag. 2 out. And now you've got Bregman coming up. First base open. Maldonado will follow him. And we'll see how the Braves want to play this. Bregman's been struggling, but it's still Alex Bregman.
I totally agree, and I think you trust your pitcher knows he can throw strikes, that you face somebody else. It's not changing the runners in scoring position. You got to really pitch to Maldonado, and that's what Brian Snitker is going to do.
So Bregman draws the intentional walk. And that leaves it up to Martin Maldonado, who has an RBI in this game, 3 RBIs this postseason. But just 4 hits, 4 for 42.
You know, it obviously would be different if it was 1st and 3rd, and then technically he's a base open. It would be different if you walked him to put the go-ahead run on 2nd, but the go-ahead run's already been on 2nd when you walked him with the 1st base open.
Maldonado had an RBI base hit back in game 2 in Houston. A sac fly earlier in this game. Big spot, obviously, and he takes a ball inside from Minter. And he didn't look like he was in any hurry to get out of the way of that pitch.
And he looked like he was taken the whole way. So, little cat and mouse game with the bases loaded.
Astros left 11 on last night. They've left 4 on so far tonight. 1-0 pitch. Ball. 2-0.
And he was taken again. The only superpower I ever wanted to know as a pitcher, I only just wanted to know if the hitter wanted to swing. And that would affect my pitch selection, right? Just want to know what he was thinking of. Now, we've talked about some of the guys that you pretty much already know they're going to swing, but he's gone up there, at least on the first 2 pitches, and said, I'm gonna see if you can throw a strike here with the bases loaded.
And he's right on top of the plate. There's a strike. That's why I say on that first pitch, he was inside where Maldonado's standing. It doesn't take much off the plate to hit him and force a run home.
I mean, there's where he was on the sac fly, right? And now he is on top.
Here's a 2-1. Down 3-1. Marwin Gonzalez next. If he bats, this game will at least be tied. Maldonado goes right back into that same spot, right on top of the plate. The 3-1 pitch. That's inside, and this game is tied. A bases loaded walk to Martin Maldonado after the intentional pass to Bregman, and it's 5-5 here in the 5th of game 5. I think you really have to credit Martin Maldonado.
Yeah.
Going up there with a plan to either walk, get hit, whatever it took to get that run home after the intentional walk.
He's the first one that we've seen change the complete approach and never had an intention to swing at those first 2 pitches, as you mentioned, and it threw Minter for a loop.
And now Marwin Gonzalez will bat with the bases empty, 2 out, and a tie game in the 5th.
You're throwing your first pitch here with the intention that you believe the guy is going to swing and try to break the game into a, put his team ahead, but still want to make the best quality pitch you can here on the first pitch.
Gonzalez was added for this World Series round to the active roster. And he floats one into left center. That will get down. Score 1 and score 2. The ball hits Maldonado, but Marwin Gonzalez has delivered, and the Astros have their first lead of the night. It's 7-5. And that'll be it for A.J. Minter.
Well, he did go up there trying to swing at the first pitch. Big swing, but softer results as it didn't get the sweet spot, but it's the sweet spot for the Astros scoreboard.
What an inning for the Houston Astros. They continue to come back. They've knocked out A.J. Minter. They have their first lead of the night. A chance for more with Altuve coming up and Chris Martin coming in. Astros trailed 4-0 after 1. Tied it in the third, trailed 5-4 after 3, and now they're leading for the first time. Correa moved out of the number 5 spot. That's paid off. Marwin Gonzalez just delivered the pinch hit go-ahead 2-run single. And then it was Adam Duvall who got this whole thing started with a grand slam back in the first. As Chris Martin pitches in back-to-back games and deals with Altuve with 2 on and 2 out.
Do we need to say anything? Kind of know what he's going to do, right? He's swinging.
You expect Altuve to go after the first pitch. Didn't give him a chance as that rides inside, ball 1. Martin last night worked an inning, allowed a hit, had 1 strikeout.
And the Astros, to their credit, they feel offensively when they're clicking and they're able to keep the pitchers in the strike zone, they're going to win.
Time called by d'Arnaud. The Astros had been 1 for 15 with 2 out and runners in scoring position in this World Series. They got the bases loaded walk, but then delivered with a hit. Marwin Gonzalez. Here comes a 1-0 to Altuve. Outside, 2-0. Three 2-out runs this inning, and that's something that Dusty's team featured in both matchups before the World Series. Against the White Sox and the Red Sox. Now a 2-0 pitch. Altuve. You know what he's thinking. Took it right down the middle, 2-1. There's Phil Maton. He will take over in the bottom of this 5th. The Astros now with 49 2-out runs this postseason, most by an American League team in any single postseason all time, with more chances. That's a 2-2 count. Jose let it fly, but came up empty. 8th man to bat in the inning. And what an inning for Houston. Two. Full count.
Full count. Runners are going to be going.
That's not insignificant with the lead runner being Maldonado.
Right.
Three-two pitch, and he struck him out. Altuve chased, but the Astros get 3, have their first lead of the night, 7-5, halfway through Game 5. All 5 runs tonight for Atlanta on 2 swings. A grand slam by Duvall in the first, and a go-ahead home run by the guy at the plate now, Freddie Freeman, in the third. But now the Astros lead 7-5, and Phil Maton into the game, and here's a line drive into right. 1 pitch, 1 out. StatCast is powered by Google Cloud, and last time up, this thing was key rushed. Longest home run of this postseason for anybody. His longest in the StatCast era, tying his longest. And it was majestic into right center back in the third.
Well, you get to this point in the series, Joe, with the amount of pitchers that have been used by each side, hitters start getting a little more comfortable. They start seeing guys, they can make self-adjustments. Normally, you're dealing with the self-adjustments of a starter in game 1 and a starter in game 5 that pitches the same. That's not been the case, of course, with the bullpen guys. So each team is taking advantage of the relievers that come in that don't have their exact best stuff.
Albies took a strike, now a ball. Seen the first inning World Series grand slam since 1960 in this game. Seen Zach Greinke become the first AL pitcher to get a pinch hit in World Series history. Strike 2 on Albies. That happened back in the 4th inning, but didn't lead to anything. As Maton, who's been really busy for Houston, is the first Astro pitcher to pitch tonight with a lead. A 1-2. Struck him out. 2 down. That's only the second strikeout tonight of a Braves hitter. The other one was the pitcher Tucker Davidson.
This guy's really impressed when he's been in, and he's utilized the weakness of guys like Albies, who I think if he faced him 10 times would have a hard time getting 1 or 2 hits based on the style that Albies hits and the style that Maton pitches.
Well, if given time in this World Series, he may face him 10 times.
He may.
Strike 1 on Austin Riley, who's 1 for 2.
We are on a potential record pace of most pitchers used through 5 games.
Riley has singled and scored and grounded out. 0-1 pitch is upstairs. 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Houston in the 6th. Looks like Chris Martin will head back out there. Maton brings it, and a shot into left center field that will get down and go to the wall. Riley digs for second with a 2-out double. And that's big when Eddie Rosario hits behind you as he keeps this 5th inning alive.
Well, somebody finally got to the top of the zone on this fastball that really nobody's been able to square up. Riley did. A little bit of a top spin that allowed it to get in the gap for a double.
The Astros pitchers, well, it was Valdez both times, very careful with Rosario, walked him twice. And Maldonado's going to go out and talk to Maton to go over the scouting report on Rosario again and make sure they're in sync on the signs.
Want more postseason stats? Hey Siri, who leads the postseason in RBIs?
Kyle Tucker still leading in RBIs with 15 coming into tonight. Outfield straightaway, infield playing Rosario to pull. Runner at second, 2 out. 2-run lead, Houston, strike one on the Atlanta left fielder. A 1 pitch now. Maton delivers and it's fouled. Strike two. As we've said, 2 strikes do not bother Rosario at all.
They don't. He really does a good job adjusting. Aggressive early, maybe more selective later.
Here it is. Checked his swing, ball one.
That fastball, if it's down a little bit, he'll shoot the other way. Right idea, trying to get it elevated above the strike zone to get in the swing.
1-2 now. Atlanta batting from behind. For the first time tonight, at the tying run at the plate, Rosario has popped 3 home runs this postseason. 2-2. Comebacker. Good pitch by Maton, and he underhands to end the 5th. It's a 7-5 game into the 6th inning in Atlanta. Chilly night, game 5 on Halloween. Covered as Brantley hits it down the left field line, foul, and we're underway in the 6th inning. Astros leading 7-5. Braves are trying to become the 6th team to win games 3, 4, and 5 to win the World Series. Did you know the last team to clinch the World Series in their home park was the 2013 Red Sox? It's been that long. Wow. Since a team won the final game, at least the clincher at home. 1 ball, 1 strike on Brantley. Braves would like to beat that and get it done here at Atlanta and avoid having to go back to Texas, while obviously the Astros want to see a game 6 on Tuesday in Houston. Here's a 1-1. Strike 2.
Been in that situation a few times, and remember just walking into the clubhouse when you're down saying, boys, we're going back and they're coming back with us. And that's the theory and feeling you got to have. And you got to tip your cap right now to Houston's offense. Just battling and taking a lead when in that first inning this crowd went crazy after the grand slam.
Braves kind of shifted out of the shift and went back to a more normal looking infield with a count of 1-2 on Brantley, and he goes the other way, foul. Houston offense just shut down the last 2 games. A couple of runs on 10 hits. Games 3 and 4 tonight. Dusty Baker calls crooked numbers. And they have not hit the home run ball tonight. They have just 2 this World Series. Typically that's something they feature as Brantley grounds out to first. Now 0 for 2 with 2 walks. 1 out in the 6th inning, and tonight's telecast is sponsored by Indeed. We help people get jobs. And by FTX, the official crypto exchange of MLB.
But Joe, it's not a coincidence that this offense has clicked since he moved some guys around. I thought it was a great move before the game to shift a couple guys, and those guys have come up big. Correa, of course, with 2 of those hits already, and Bregman breaking out of his slump with a big double.
Both guys have driven in a run with a double and scored a run.
But it's still, I still go back to the little things that I always notice in a series that maybe go unnoticed. It's the sac fly by your catcher who's struggling when you were down 4-1 to get down 4-2, and then he comes up with the bases loaded, doesn't put the ball in play, and gets an RBI with a purpose and a walk.
He's had 2 real good plate appearances, as that's too far inside. 1 ball, 1 strike from Chris Martin. Did a good job last inning with 2 on and 2 out. He came on and got Altuve on a strikeout. Here's a 1-1 to the shortstop. Swanson gobbles it up, gets the out. If there is a game 6 on Tuesday in Houston, we'll be on the air that night at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app. We know Max Fried gets the ball to lefty for the Atlanta Braves. Urquidy was the likely starter for Houston. He worked tonight, but only threw 1 inning, so who knows? We've had 2 straight days where the starting pitcher for the Atlanta Braves didn't find out he was going to be the starter till the day of the game.
Well, at least that won't be the problem for the Braves in 6 and 7. It'll be Max Fried and Ian Anderson if it needs to go 7.
Strike 1 on Alvarez.
Hitting conditions tonight much better than the previous 2, and so you know Houston would love to get back to their 78 degrees, 77 degrees stadium pretty much every day. Comfortable.
Yeah, they love hitting in their own ballpark. Here's the 0-1 to Alvarez. Pop up into left. Rosario, a long run. He's there, and a slide for the catch. Fair ball. And a 1-2-3-6. As Chris Martin has retired all 4 he's faced. Braves coming to bat, bottom of the 6th inning, down 2. Well, the Boston Red Sox, their enormous fan base, and the rest of the baseball world mourn the passing of Jerry Remy, who last night lost his long battle, 13 years, the battle with cancer. Nicknamed the Rem Dog, he embodied every aspect of being a core part of Red Sox Nation. He grew up in Somerset, Massachusetts, an hour drive south of Fenway. He was dreaming of someday playing in that storied ballpark for his hometown team. Had a 3-year stint to begin his career with the Angels. Real good second baseman. Named to the '78 All-Star game for the Red Sox. As Maton deals. Strike 1 on Duvall. Had 2 key late inning hits in that infamous 1-game playoff that year against the Yankees in '78. After knee problems curtailed that playing career in the mid-'80s, he joined the Red Sox broadcasting crew in 1988 and was a force in the booth all the years since. He would have turned 69 next week. There's a strike into Adam Duvall as we're underway in the bottom of the 6th inning. And if Red Sox Nation had an emperor, the Rem Dog would be him. What a sad, sad loss for all of baseball, and just be loved in New England. Here's the 0-2 outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Duvall.
Well, Dusty is trying to steal as many outs as he can out of this youngster because, as we talked about, his bullpen yesterday, high leverage guys were used a lot. Graveman, really the guy that will close it out for Houston if they're in that spot. Did not go to him yesterday.
A lot of work for Ryan Presley, their closer. 1-2 here is back to the backstop. Luke Jackson getting ready for Atlanta. Duvall with a grand slam and a pop-up. Facing his third different pitcher tonight. 2-2. Choke strike 3 right down the chute. One away. And 2 strikeouts now for Maton, getting big outs for Dusty Baker.
Looking for something to break, and he surprised him with a fastball right on the corner.
Bring in d'Arnaud. Travis bounced a base hit up the middle against Urquidy in the 4th. Strike 1. Tucker Davidson and Framber Valdez started this game. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning with Houston leading, and that's into left field. Alvarez going to cut it off. He holds d'Arnaud to a 1-out single. And that'll bring in Dansby Swanson with Jock Peterson right behind him in the on-deck circle.
Shortstop, number 7, Dansby Swanson.
Swanson 0 for 2.
If there's ever a time for Swanson to stay on the ball and think center to right center against this guy, he'd be better served the way he throws his fastball and curveball. Swanson does like to pull, and he has power to all parts of the field, as he showed last night, hitting a fastball after 2 straight swings and misses at breaking balls. Opposite field home run. Because what he does is his front side flies open, and he's trying to hit for power. And when they throw breaking balls, his swing's too big. That's why I was surprised last night that they went with the fastball, Javier, after seeing those swings on breaking balls.
A ball and a strike. Swanson came into this game hitting .240 this postseason, 0 for 2. Here comes a 1-1 from Maton. Two 2-1 pitch is headed home from Phil Maton, and outside again. 3-1.
Well, that was a good take from Dansby. That's one he might have gotten aggressive and swung at. A good pitch selection, really. That ball's covering the plate, and at the last minute, see where his hip goes, and then the bat behind him.
Stanek getting loose. 3-1 pitch here. Full count. It's been a postseason of the full count for the Houston Astros.
Yeah, this game was 9 total, and the teams were 2 for 6, 3 walks, 2 RBIs, games 1 through 4, 43 of those, but only 4 for 27 in the 3-2 counts. Tonight, the 3-2, they've done some damage, a couple RBIs as well.
Here it is on 3-2, and he struck him out. 2 out. Pretty good bounce back there from Maton. And Jock Peterson will be the hitter, and Brent Strom is going to come out and talk to Maton.
And that's an example of what I'm talking about, wanting to hit so bad that you swing at ball 4. Instead of passing the baton on to Jock Peterson, that's just too aggressive of a mindset.
This loud stadium, Brent Strom is right in the face of Phil Maton. Nothing unclear about whatever message he's delivering right now. And Jock Peterson, who has hit 2 pinch hit home runs this postseason, 3 total, will step in. Just 1 for 10 in this World Series. Strike 1. As Maton gets ahead. Strike 2. That's where you got to throw him. As a pinch hitter this postseason, Peterson 3 for 3 with those 2 home runs. All against the Brewers in the division series. 0-2. Little pop up. Left side. Long run. And Bregman got there. He had to run a mile to get to that ball in foul territory as he was shaded toward the bag. And he got there. Still 7-5 now after 6. Back after this from your local Fox station. Game 5 slides right into the 7th inning. 7-5. Houston on top as the Braves turn to Drew Smyly. 5th pitcher of the night for Atlanta, with Houston up a pair. Yuli Gurriel first up for the Astros, then Kyle Tucker and Alex Bregman. That misses for ball 1.
Smiley's going to try to off speed, spin, just try to be creative against this lineup.
There's a strike. Drew was a starter through 23 starts, had an ERA of 4.75, better numbers out of the bullpen. Misses the inside corner here in the count, 2-1. Veteran left-hander, 32 years old. There's a strike, 2-2.
But that's what he's trying to do. Move it around, change locations, and create spin.
Not a lot of work for Drew this postseason, just his third game. He's pitched 4 1/3 innings, 2-2. Hook foul. Organist chose that moment to play Lady Madonna. Here is a 2-2 pitch. Strikeout starts the 7th. Listen to MLB's podcasts to hear the latest analysis from insiders across the league and exclusive in-depth interviews with baseball's biggest stars. Subscribe now at MLB.com/podcasts.
Well, not one fastball there against Mr. Hit King, their batting champion, who's been awesome in the postseason. Tremendous hair.
Gurriel 2 for 4 now on the night with a ground out. Here's one down the line into the corner. This ball is fair and up against. Kyle Tucker has a 1-out double.
Another breaking ball. He just kind of reaches out like you said. Long swing. Hooks it in the corner. They weren't really playing him that to pull. And he was thinking 3, by the way, when he got out of the box.
Alex Bregman. He's had a nice night. An RBI double his first time up that got the Astros back on the board after they fell down 4-0. In a 2-run second, he was intentionally walked and scored a run in the 5th. Goes after the first pitch and pops it up. On the infield, it's Riley. 2 down. And that'll bring in Maldonado. Well, 5 ALCS appearances, 3 AL pennants, 1 World Series title. This group 72 games played together. Most all-time now by an infield. And the most all-time by any 4 teammates, passing Jeter, Williams, Tino Martinez, and Paul O'Neill. As far as infields are concerned, they passed the group the Dodgers had for a long time. 70s into the 80s. Year after year as Maldonado takes the ball low. Say and Russell and Lopes and Garvey. I think Martin Maldonado, who has a sac fly and a bases loaded walk for an RBI, has had 2 really important plate appearances in this one.
Yeah, unsung hero. If they go on to win this game, I'm telling you, it won't show up in the score box. Or box score, I should say.
Here's a 1-0. Strike 1. Well, you've talked a couple of times about wanting to hit so bad that hitters chase pitches out of the strike zone. It looked like the opposite the last time he was up there with the bases loaded. He was willing and hoping for a walk or any way to get on base.
Well, he's not standing in the same place he was when he faced Minter. Okay, so he was trying to take away that cutter and get on top of the plate and create an illusion for that cutter, and it worked.
That was with Minter on the mound, who went 1, allowed 3 runs on 3 hits.
Used to see more of that, where hitters would take away a big breaking ball by getting up in the box to take away the big break before it got to them at the plate, or a two-seam fastball that works away from them. But pretty much everybody who sits in the box, it's the same.
That is a base hit into left. Tucker coming around third. Throw by Rosario is late. And Maldonado with another RBI. His third of the night. And the Astros lead is 3 here in the 7th. What a night for Martin Maldonado.
Well, we haven't seen one fastball out of Smiley, so you know they're all sitting on off speed, and he got one up in the zone and pulled it.
And Maldonado, at the end of a long year, is able to get to second on that throw home. Beloved by his teammates, and boy, has he delivered tonight with his team up against it. Here's McCormick off the bench. Chaz is batting for Phil Maton, who's one of the ball game's heroes so far for the Houston Astros. 2 shutout innings, 2 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts. McCormick takes ball 2. Three-run scoring with 2 out in the 5th. Another one has scored here in the 7th. Chance for more. That is a strike. 2-1 on Chaz McCormick, who was 0 for 3 in this World Series. 2 RBIs this postseason. Probably will find his way back into the lineup Game 6 if we get there on Tuesday. Here's a 2-1. 2-2. It's either him or Siri, as the lead is now 3 for Houston. Top of the order bats for Atlanta in the bottom of the 7th. Two delivery. Smiley struck him out. But the Astros get another big run and lead by 3. 1-out double by Tucker and a 2-out RBI hit by Martin Maldonado, who has 3 RBIs tonight, more than he had through the entire postseason coming into Game 5. Well, the party here at Truist Park got off to a great start for the home crowd with a grand slam by Adam Duvall in the 1st. But it's been pretty much all Astros ever since, with the exception of the Freddie Freeman home run in the 3rd. That is foul down the left field line off the bat of Soler, who jumps on the first pitch from Ryan Stanek, strike 1. More action for Stanek. This is game number 12.
Fastball split, occasional slider. But like I said, everybody's getting more looks at the same guy coming out of the pen for each team.
It bounces in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Soler 1 for 3. Urquidy right now the pitcher of record for Houston. And he may very well get the ball Game 6 if there is one on Tuesday.
Come on, get it in there.
Baker cheering on Stanek. Upstairs, 2-1. 8-5 game. Framber Valdez talking to Luis Garcia. Five for 15 in this World Series is Soler. Challenge there at 97, and Stanek won that battle. 2-2.
Well, just like the Astros were talking about in the top of the second, get runners on, see if we can chip away, get runners on. You never thought you would be able to say that if you're Atlanta Braves dugout, saying we got to get a couple runners on now to do the same thing because you're now down 3.
Here's a 2-2. High fly ball into left. Alvarez to his right near the line. 1 out. Soler 1 for 4. Well, coming into tonight, the largest comeback win by a road team when facing elimination in the World Series. 4 runs by the 1919 White Sox. The Black Sox, Game 6. Trailed 4-0 against the Reds. They won 5-4 in 10 and lost 10-5 in Game 7. Astros trailed 4-0 in a blink here tonight, but here they are, up by 3 in the 7th. It's Freddie Freeman. Ball 1 up. One 0 pitch, fouled back.
Normally you don't throw splits down and in to left-handers. You want the splits down and away, but a split down and in to Freddie would give him fits based on his swing path and the way he's trying to hit the ball.
A ball and 2 strikes from Stanek. They love him here, and with good reason. One of the best players in the game, period. Waits for a 1-2. To the right side, Gurriel flips for the out. 2 down. And Albies will bat. Ozzie Albies hit .259 during the regular season, 30 home runs, 106 RBIs. He's got 2 RBIs this entire postseason.
Yeah, his swing looks a little bit off, and they're pitching him brilliantly, trying to get to the top of the zone. He's aggressive like Altuve, and they are not giving him anything the first pitch to hit to get going. You know, he had a couple of those infield hits early in the World Series, used his speed to get those hits.
Three for 17 as he hooks that one foul.
See, that's a perfect example. There's no way he's looking for that pitch. There's no way. I mean, that's not the pitch he wants to hit, but he's got a mindset when he gets up there that I'm going to swing if it's in that sphere that I'm looking at, and it's a split finger down, and that's a 2-strike swing, and he's going up there a little out of balance and a little out of character from what has been a monster year for Albies.
30 homers, 106, stole 20. There's strike 2. Plays the heck out of second base. He does it all. Bats in that all-important number 3 spot behind Freeman in front of Riley. Astros got a run in the top of this 7th, lead by 3. And Here's the 0-2 from Stanek. What a good inning by Ryan Stanek, who shouts as he exits. Top of the order will bat for the Astros in the 8th, facing elimination and leading tonight 8-5. Top of the order for the Astros, that's Altuve. Astros had put up 8 runs on 9 hits. Altuve hitless tonight, but he did reach to start the 3rd on an error by Swanson. That 2-run 3rd that tied the game at 4. A strike from Smiley, who allowed 1 run on 2 hits last inning. The 0-1. Darno is trying to argue that Altuve was out of the box when that ball hit him, which would make him out. But it's called just strike 2 instead of out number 1.
The breaking ball, trying to bunt for a hit, but it's clearly in the box.
Oh-2 pitch. Altuve just reaches out and gets a base hit to center. Almost flat-footed and just stuck the bat out and drove it through this infield for a leadoff hit in the 8th.
Well, that's what makes him special, right? For every bad swing he makes and making an out, he has some of these that he gets hits. Some of the things a couple of years ago that might have caused Houston to want to change who he is in the strike zone as far as swinging, they say it makes him exactly who he is.
Brings in Brantley. Michael 0 for 2 with a run scored. A couple of walks to his credit. Takes a high strike. The series average is right around his regular season average, 311, which was 2nd best in the American League.
So they had the 1st best and the 2nd best on.
You got it. Top 2 hitters. Altuve running. Throw to first was wide and safe. Freeman did all he could, but the throw from Smiley had Freddie reaching, and by the time he gathered and threw, Altuve had the base stolen. They're going to look at it. Let's see. This might be the best shot of it we have. Looks like the glove may be on the right thigh of Altuve. It's close. Here's another look. I could make the argument he's out.
Yeah, he got a lot of dirt in between his spikes and the bag. That might be the thing that doesn't show clarity that he was definitively out.
Well, the call was safe, so it takes a clear-cut look. What a play by Freeman.
Yeah, I think I actually think left-handers have that advantage. I don't think he had planned on throwing over to first. So he held as long as he could. And then when he saw him break, he threw over to first, and that's why the throw was so late and kind of wide.
I think that angle shows that the glove's on his leg before the foot hits the base, but it's about as close as you can get.
See, here's the play that happens with a left-hander. All right, he just picks his leg up. I think he's going home at this point, and then he goes to first once he sees the huge jump. And he didn't. The reason I don't think he last minute threw it, he could have fired that ball to Freddie a little faster.
The crowd here sees it on the big board in center field. They think Altuve's out. But they're still looking at it. There's the call. Safe. So we'll give you a game summary as we play in the 8th. Martin Maldonado has had a big night. 3 RBIs tonight. Sac fly, a bases loaded walk, and an RBI single. The bullpen for the Astros shut out through 4 1/3, and Adam Duvall hit the first inning grand slam in World Series play since 1960. But for Atlanta, only 1 run since, and it's 8-5. And now a runner at second, nobody out. Michael Brantley waits for the 0-1. Hard hit. Altuve to third. 1 away as Albies makes a play at first. Brantley advances the runner.
Professional at bat right there. The whole time he was going to pull that ball and get Altuve over to third and put the onus on the Braves, bringing their defense in, and Correa knocking him in.
The dugout approves, and now the infield is in, and they play Correa to pull. Astros facing elimination, can't have enough runs as Correa takes low, ball 1.
Agreed. And you know, the Braves were in this situation, and they're fortunate to be up 3-1. When you think about what might catch up to them, what was their strength might catch up to them, that being the bullpen usage in games 4 and 5. You only got basically 2 innings of starters.
That is plating another run. RBI for Correa. And Altuve, who was called safe at second base, comes around to score on the RBI hit by Carlos, his second RBI of the night.
Right away they went over to Brantley and said, that's your run.
That's right. It's time. Come on, Albert.
9-5 ball game here in the 8th. Smiley now deals with Yordan Alvarez. This is kind of the missing piece right now for the Houston Astros. If there's a game 6, this is a guy they've got to get going.
Absolutely. I mean, he was the mainstay of that whole run against the Red Sox. They just couldn't get him out. And now he's got time, it looks like, if the score holds, to get going back home.
Out in front of those 2 pitches, 2 strikes. So a run in the 7th off Smiley, a run in the 8th off Smiley after that close call at second. Oh, 2 pitch. 3 pitches, 3 swings and misses, 2 out.
This series to me was a battle of the infield, and for this game they came through. It hasn't been a great series for this infield, which is great. Both of them are, the Braves and the Astros, but when they needed it most, they stepped up, and they're going to need this continual when they get home, if again they hold on to this lead.
9-5. 8th inning. Saw Kendall Graveman getting loose for Houston in their pen. The one guy that Dusty stayed away from last night. And so he is getting ready to go in the bottom of the inning against the 4, 5, 6 hitters Riley, Rosario, and Duvall. Gurriel now, 0-1 pitch, strike 2. Runner at first, Correa 2 down, and a ground ball up the middle, a base hit. Third hit of the night for Gurriel in the number 5 spot. And all of these changes by Dusty Baker have really paid off here in Game 5. Correa hitting 3rd, Gurriel hitting 5th, and Bregman hitting 7th.
And gets their offense churning again. You know, the only downside would be they win this game and they got a day off tomorrow. You know, when you get churning and finally get going, you want to hit again the next day. But they just want to hit again, period.
Here's Kyle Tucker now. A double and a run scored last inning. Scored on the 2-out RBI hit by Maldonado. Here it is, and ball 1. Carlos Correa now with the RBI base hit here in this inning is tied for 2nd for RBIs by a shortstop in World Series play. Pee Wee Reese leads the way with 16, and Correa is now tied with Davey Concepcion with 12. Correa has driven in his 12 in 19 games. Pee Wee Reese his 16 in 44 games.
Brian Snitker would have used his pen totally different if A.J. Minter would have got out of that inning. But because the inning got away from him, and then, of course, they tacked on, he cannot really afford some of his high leverage guys now. Of course, it's a 4-run game, and you'd say, well, still keep it close enough. It's a chance for your offense. But he's in a tough spot in the scenario that he's up 3 games to 1. And if he loses this game, he's got 2 games to win 1 with a totally loaded pitching staff, as opposed to Houston's a little banged up.
Two and 1 on Tucker. Off the end of the bat into left. Rosario to his left sends this game into the bottom of the 8th. Another run on the board. Altuve got it going, reached out, got a base hit up the middle, was called safe on that, and then scored on Correa's hit. 9-5 Houston, bottom of the 8th. Dusty trying to get this back to Texas. 9-5 game, bottom of the 8th inning. Some changes for Houston as they improve their defense and bring in Kendall Graveman. Strong inning by Ryan Stanek. 1 strikeout, the rest zeros. Here's Graveman. Been so good, former closer with Seattle. The July pickup, and ball 1 is inside to Austin Riley.
Great late break to his 97-mile-an-hour sinker.
Here's a 1-0. Too high, 2-0. Jose Siri comes into the ball game in center. Kyle Tucker is now in right, and Brantley's in left. 2 balls and a strike. Riley 2 for 3 tonight. And he lines a base hit into center.
That was a great approach at the plate. Simple swing. Didn't need a home run, need base runners. That's the Riley that throughout the year has put up the numbers he has for the Atlanta Braves. And I'll say it again, that the Houston Astros have so many power right-handed arms to take care of the powerful right-handed bats for the Atlanta Braves.
Rosario now takes a strike. You know, this was just a 2-run game when manager Brian Snitker brought in Drew Smiley because of all the use. They were behind on the scoreboard. So no Matzik in this game, no Luke Jackson. And a single run in the 7th, one in the 8th against Smiley has made this a 4-run game and has made this feel totally different. Strike 2 on Rosario.
You know, this is going to sound weird when I say it, but it's an easier game to manage for Dusty Baker because there is no tomorrow. He can use every resource and not blink an eye and say we'll take care of the next game when it gets there. Whereas Brian Snitker has 3 games to win 1. He would have gone for the kill shot if they were up, especially in the 3rd or 4th. But then the Astros scored those 3 runs in the 5th.
Rosario pops it foul, out of play. 0-2. He went to A.J. Minter early with a 1-run lead after the home run by Freeman in the 3rd. But A.J. Minter went 1, allowed 3 runs on 3 hits.
But to put it in perspective, just no different than the year. If you'd ask people in August, Braves are going to be in the World Series, well, take that. If you ask people, the Braves are going to be up 3-2 going to Houston after starting 2 young guys that pitched a total of 2 1/3 innings, you'd take that too. So it's about the perspective of how you look at it, and each game has its own demons and its own success story of who delivers under the gun, and Houston delivered under the gun today.
1-2 pitch. 2-2 on Rosario. You know this, Dusty Baker, who is managing in his first World Series since 2002, will not be comfortable until the final out is put away.
So absolutely.
He's up 4, but he's not relaxed down there by any stretch with the way these Braves keep coming at you. Here comes a 2-2 pitch from Graveman. Rosario stays alive.
And all you want to do now, if you're Braves players, is battle and get runners on and see as many pitches as you can from Graveman. Make him work. There's always the game within the game of a series because, like I said, if this series continues and goes 6 or possibly 7, Graveman's pitching in both of them.
Two pitch. Full count.
I bet you he'd be an incredible cricket player. I'm not kidding you, man. The way they hit the ball on the bounce and the way he stands up there.
He's been in a battle here trying to get on any way he can. With Duvall on deck, if he bats with 2 on, he could make this thing interesting with 1 swing.
Do you happen to notice where the bell is that they're ringing in the stadium?
Yeah, I think it's just a sound effect. We're a long way from Philly. And Graveman is a long way from Seattle, which is where he started the season. He's now right in the middle of it, trying to help get this series back to Houston. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball into center. Big out there as Rosario flies to Siri, 1 away. Adam Duvall had a first inning grand slam coming into the game. Fox Bet Sportsbook had him at plus 300 to hit a home run. So a $10 bet returned $40. It wasn't just a home run. It was the first inning grand slam in World Series play since 1960. Here he is, 1 on, 1 out, 1 for 3 on the night, and 4 for 19 in this World Series. Strike 1 from Graveman. Wow. 96. I mean, you go get guys like the Astros front office did. And you've got Maton, who's pitching for Cleveland, Yimi Garcia, who's pitching for Miami, and Kendall Graveman pitching for Seattle. You don't know how they're going to do on the big stage like this.
Good point. I mean, it's you scout and you like the metrics of what you're seeing from those guys, and then you blend it with the other guys you have, and you look at it as kind of like the Rays have done. They got different arm angles for different situations and different hitters. And I think that's kind of what the Rays did, the Astros did. You got Maton, who's a high ball pitcher with a curveball, sinker baller. You got a guy in Yimi Garcia who's just got a nasty low 3/4. So they went out and got the guys they thought would blend in their bullpen.
Duvall's jammed, fouls it away. And then you don't know the makeup.
Right.
You don't know. It's different closing games in Seattle and coming into Game 5 with your team facing elimination in the World Series and getting big outs. It's just a different story.
For sure. And luckily they got him with enough time to figure some of that out before the season got to this postseason run they're on.
1-2 pitch here and a ground ball to third. Bregman will get the out at first by half a step as he gets Duvall. 2 out. And the batter will be d'Arnaud. Good play there by Bregman. He's playing deep against Duvall. Had to charge, glove, and get rid of it. He did. Got the second out of the inning. d'Arnaud took Graveman out of the park into center field here 2 nights ago. First home run that Graveman had allowed to a right-handed batter. And for d'Arnaud, his first home run here in his home park this season, regular and post. 1-0 pitch. Went around, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you know, he'd love to get a 2-out hit and give this crowd some hope and chip away.
Ooh, that's called a strike, and it's a 1-2 count.
Good job there by Maldonado.
d'Arnaud looking for his 3rd hit. Set up, and that misses. 2-2. Well, for Dusty Baker, he was concerned coming in because of all the work that Ryan Presley had to go through last night to go an inning and 2/3. High pitch count. If he can get through this game without having to go to Presley, that'd be big. It's a 4-run game, 2 out. And a 2-2 pitch to d'Arnaud. Struck him out. Graveman a scoreless eighth. Ninth inning rolls in. Game 5 in Atlanta. 9-5 Astros. Alex Bregman will walk in. We're into the ninth. Our Hyundai lift to the game. Bases loaded. Marwin Gonzalez. His first hit of this postseason, as his career journey has led him back to the Houston Astros. And the 2-out, 2-run single in the 5th inning put the Astros up for the first time. They've tacked on since and lead it 9-5. Big swing of the bat against Minter. In for a strike from Drew Smiley to Alex Bregman, who's been on base twice with an RBI double and a run scored after he was intentionally walked. In that 3-run 5th. That's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's still battling a little bit. He talked about what he worked on in batting practice. Got that double.
Grounds to third. 2 bounces to Riley. 1 out.
But that right there is evidence of just being a little bit off mechanically. He has that trigger system that is so quick and so powerful for a smaller guy. He'll be looking to get back on track. This thing goes back to Houston.
John, you'll like this. We talked about the little things that Martin Maldonado did tonight. He has become the first player in postseason history with an RBI via a hit, a walk, and a sacrifice fly in a single postseason game.
That's getting it done.
That's inside to Martin.
You know, it's easier said than done. The team loves him, pitchers love him, but you know how mentally tough you have to be when you're having a really bad year offensively and you haven't really checked in the postseason. This has got to feel great tonight for him.
Smiley gets a strike in there on a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Graveman on deck. He found a bat that he is willing to take up there to the plate here in the top of the 9th inning, or somebody's willing to let him borrow.
I mean, he could have taken a pool stick up there. If I was talking, they're probably going to tell him, don't swing. He needs you to pitch.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Maldonado, and we've, it's a chilly night, and we've seen pitchers that take a swing and get injured, and crazier things have happened. He should just go up there and stand.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a reliever, and he probably's not had many swings in his entire career, other than having fun in BP.
Here's a 2-2 pitch to Maldonado and a foul. Ken Rosenthal, if we get to Houston on Tuesday, what do you see as far as a pitching matchup?
Well, Joe, you guys both have mentioned Jose Urquidy, and he was originally on track to pitch Game 6. Only threw 14 pitches tonight. He would be one option to start. Another option would be Luis Garcia on 3 days rest. Now, they don't ideally want to do that short rest with Garcia, a younger pitcher, but he threw only 72 pitches in Game 3. And then finally, there's Jake Odorizzi, who probably would start. It was telling tonight that they went to Urquidy on 3 days rest versus Jake on 4 days rest, but he would be available in relief. And remember, Jake Odorizzi in Game 1, 2 1/3 scoreless innings.
Yeah, he pitched really well in Game 1 and kind of held the game in check there as Graveman comes to the plate. I know Matt Gangle, our director, is trying to find the best shot he can to see whose bat this is.
How about forget the bat? He's got an arm pad on his left arm.
Oh, 1 pitch. Strike 2. Graveman 0 for 5 at the plate in the big leagues with 4 strikeouts in his career. And if Smiley can throw a strike, Graveman will be 0 for 6. We think it's Bregman. Here's a 1-2 from Smiley. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wonder if Alex knows his business partner is up at the plate right now. That's ball 3, 3-2. They might tell him to swing now no matter what, just to strike out. I want him to go run the bases.
He looks the part right about here.
There it is.
And then he does it.
5 strikeouts for Smiley. Bottom of the 9th inning, game 5. Last chance for the Braves to make noise and win it here at home. Little World Series history. The most recent time a team faced a 3-1 deficit in the World Series and won game 5 on the road was back in 1992. Partner John Smoltz pitched. Held a 3-2 5th inning lead in Toronto Skydome. Lonnie Smith hit a grand slam off Jack Morris. Game was blown open 7-2. Series shifted back to Atlanta. The Blue Jays won. Really a great game 6 in 11 innings, 4-3 to take the title. And Dave Winfield's 2-run double was the difference. Winfield, a part of MLB on Fox back in the early days in '96.
I was on third base with 2 outs. Otis Nixon up. I pinch ran. It was the most nervous I've ever been in my life. 2 outs, and Jimmy Williams told me he's going to bunt. He can't hit him, so beat the throw at home. He bunted, but Timlin got the ball and threw him out at first. But I was, you talk about shaking.
Oh. Here's Dansby Swanson dealing with Kendall Graveman. Swanson, then a pinch hitter. Adrianza's in the on-deck circle, then back to the top and Soler as Graveman fires a strike. Swanson hitless after going last night opposite field to tie the ball game. He skies one into right here for out number 1 as Tucker puts it away. Well, the approach totally different tonight by the Astros hitters. They didn't need the long ball tonight, but they took 6 walks and 3 of the 6 scored. So they were putting the ball in play. They were a little bit more patient at the plate. They had a different look to their lineup, and here they are with a 9-5 lead. Scoring 9 runs without a home run, the last American League team to score 9 or more with no home runs in the World Series. The 07 Red Sox beat Colorado 10-5 in game 3.
Well, their whole team approach was pretty obvious. They saw what the Braves were doing to them in the previous 2 games, not pitching to 2 different guys in the lineup, using the National League style philosophy and making the pitcher hit or make you pinch hit. And I think that the shuffling of the lineup again is not as something to not to underscore how important that was, and it worked. Now Dusty didn't think he was going to be down 4-0 before it started working, but nonetheless they got 9 runs on the board.
2-0 the count on Adrianza pinch hitting for Smiley. Now 3-0. Smiley went 3, allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out 5, walked nobody. 3-0 the count. And back to the top of the order. You know, Dusty Baker's only been around this Astros team for the COVID-shortened year last year and then this season, and it's almost like he distances himself when he says, you know, this team just doesn't panic. And they were not panicking before he got to the corner of the dugout. 3-1 pitch is fouled back. And they were down in the series, down in this game 5, 4-0, and they chipped away, and they've dominated this game as it stands right now.
These guys have been through a lot and well documented. They've heard a lot and they've won a lot, and they definitely know what it's like to be under the spotlight and under the gun of being down in a series. You know a lot as a manager when you walk into your clubhouse, either after a bad loss or you're about on the elimination, and you see your guys in the clubhouse not fretting. That's a good thing. Talking about certain things, but making adjustments is really what he talked to us about.
Adrianza hits it to center. Siri was coming in and now goes back and grabs it, 2 out. And the Braves down to their final out. They have heard a lot. They brought it on themselves with what happened in 2017 with the sign stealing and the cheating scandal, but they're past that now. And you know, here they are with this group, maybe together for the last time, with Correa, the free agent to be. People lost their jobs. The players got immunity. Only a handful of players left from that 2017 World Championship team. And they have earned everything they've achieved here in 2021 as Soler takes a pitch down and away, ball 1.
Yeah, full campaign too, right? Last year shortened. They lost to the Rays in 7.
Here's a 1-0. With Graveman throwing well. 1 ball, 1 strike. Soler, strike 2.
You know, I felt coming into this series that the Braves would have to pitch extremely well to win the games they needed to win, and they have done that. That's why they're up 3 games to 1, looking to be possibly 3-2. And I felt that the overall depth of Houston's team could win out if they give themselves a position to do that. That depth has been tested because of the amount of pitchers they've had to use.
Up and away from Graveman, 2-2.
And so when you look going back to Houston on how they're going to piece this thing together to get, I personally would do Odorizzi, but they obviously have a plan for Odorizzi in game 6 to come out of the pen if needed, it looks like.
2-2 pitch is hit foul. I think the least likely scenario that Kenny went through is Luis Garcia pitching on short rest.
Right.
They're trying to buy extra time for him.
Yeah.
And even if you win that game, you still need to win a game 7.
Yeah.
The rookie right-hander has thrown more innings than he ever has. We'll see. 2-2 pitch, and he struck him out. And the Astros stave off elimination and win here tonight on Halloween. 9-5 in Atlanta. They fell behind 4-0 in the first, and they came roaring back to send this World Series back to Houston.
Really amazing job by Dusty and his team. You couldn't ask for a worse start in an elimination game, and this place was electric. And they came back, and now they're going to give their fan base a chance to be as electric and as loud for a game 6.
Graveman goes 2, no runs, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, and he slams the door and makes it a certainty that we will have game 6 here on Fox on Tuesday night in Houston, Texas. Max Fried will get the ball for Atlanta. It remains to be seen who gets the ball for the Houston Astros. Hitting up and down this lineup, not 1 home run from Houston. A big night by Martin Maldonado with 3 RBIs. Correa had 2 RBIs in the number 3 spot. Bregman drove home the first run of the night for Houston with an RBI double out of the 7 hole. And Yuli Gurriel had 3 hits in the number 5 position. Scored twice and drove home a run with a ground out.
I'll tell you what, they're going back to American League style. I bet you they keep the lineup the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have to insert one more in there. I don't believe whoever pitches will hit.
No.
Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Dusty, you got down 4-0 in the first inning on the Duval Grand Slam.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Well, I was trying to figure out a way how we could chip away and get back in that game, but mostly was trying to figure out how we could keep it at 4. And, you know, at the time, we were just thinking about, when we had the runners out there, thinking about, you know, hitting for Framber, and then we got 1, and then boom, then we changed our minds, so it was 4-2. So just trying to figure out how we could get back in that game and stop them from running off on us.
Well, you got back in part because you changed the lineup. You moved Correa up to 3rd, Gurriel to 5th, dropped Alex to 7th. Obviously, it played out well. What did you see?
Well, that's what it looked like. I mean, Carlos swung the bat great. You know, we got a big double out of Breggy, and so I'm just glad that we get to go back to Houston, because that was our goal today. You know, take it back to Houston and then just one game at a time now.
Now, Game 6. I know you haven't even gotten off the field yet, but what are you thinking about your starting pitching?
Well, probably Garcia, because you know, like we were trying to save Urquidy, but you know, we went to Urquidy because tried to get a couple innings out of him of no runs. You know, which you know, he threw the ball great, and so now we're going back home.
Still alive.
Still alive.
Dusty, thank you.
All right.
All right, our thanks to Dusty for stopping by, and that's big news. So the young rookie right-hander will go on short rest in a Game 6 start, at least as Dusty makes his way off the field. But that's not set in stone, no doubt about that. But a little bit of a heads up with how the Astros are thinking going back to Texas.